A very good morning everyone. So my dear students, we were discussing about haloalkanes and haloarenes in the last class. We have discussed up to methods of preparation of the same. In this class, we will discuss about physical properties and some of the chemical properties of the same. So, physical property. First property is about their nature. So, dihalides are colorless when pure. Okay, they are colorless when pure, but bromide and iodides, they develop color when exposed to light. Fine. They have many volatile halogens compounds have sweet smell. Fine. Next is about its melting and boiling point. But their molecular mass is greater than the hydrocarbon from which it is made. As the size of the halogen increases, definitely molar mass increases. So melting and boiling point also increases. Suppose I will compare Ri, Rbr, RCl and Rf. So out of this, Ri will have the maximum boiling and melting point. Fine. As the size increases, van der Waals forces of attraction increases, so melting and boiling point increases. Fine. Or with the increase in carbon chain also, the melting and boiling point increases. Suppose we are comparing bromopropane with bromobutane. So as the carbon chain is more in this, so it has more melting and boiling point. But in case of, suppose I will take this example. This is normal butane. This is normal butane. This is branched butane. Fine. This is branched butane, and so my dear students, as the branching increases, melting and boiling point decreases, because this is symmetrical fit in the structure. So with the increase in branching, the melting and boiling point decreases. Okay. So if I will say the boiling point of normal bromopropane is 375 Kelvin, okay, and next one, its boiling point is 346, okay, and if I will take this is straight chain, this is neoform, this is isoform. So out of all these, it has more boiling point, around 375, it has 364 Kelvin, it has 346 Kelvin. So with the increase in branching, the melting and boiling point decreases. Okay? With the increase in carbon chain, the melting and boiling point increases. With the change in halogen, either we are taking iodine, bromine, chlorine, fluorine, that also affect the melting and boiling point. Fine. Is it clear? Next is about aromatic compounds. Like if I will take orthomera, suppose this is ortho, this is meta, 1 2 ortho, 1 3 meta, and 1 4 para. But this is the most symmetrical structure. So para has more melting and boiling point than meta, then ortho. So out of these three, which one has least melting and boiling point? Ortho. Which one has most? Para. And which one is the intermediate? Meta. But see the number of the carbon chain and also the same leaving group, same halogen should be there. Fine. Next is about its solubility. Although haloalkanes are little bit polar in nature, but they are not so much soluble in water. Okay? they are not so much soluble in water. Solubility is very less in water. Rather, they are soluble in non-polar solvents. More soluble in non-polar solvent. But in water, its solubility is less. Okay? Fine? Next is density. Density of bromo, iodo and polychloro derivatives, they all are heavier than water. If they are heavier, which means their density is more than water. Fine? And the density also increases with the increase in carbon chain, with the change in halogen atom. Fine? That's all about the physical properties. They are colorless when pure. They develop color when exposed to light. Some halogen derivatives have sweet smell. Next, about its solubility. They are not so much soluble in water. Rather, they are they are more soluble in non-polar solvents. Okay, and their density, they are heavier than water. Their density increases with the increase in carbon chain and by changing the halogen atom. Next is about melting and boiling point. With the increase in branching, melting and boiling point decreases. With the increase in carbon chain, melting and boiling point increases. Without changing in either iodine, halogen, by the change in halogen, its boiling point also varies. Fine. That's all about physical properties. Next, about its chemical properties. That is very important. Very important topic from this chapter. Chemical properties. Okay? Chemical properties of haloalkanes and haloarenes. We will divide these reactions in three categories. That is nucleophilic, substitution reactions. Second is elimination reactions. Third is reaction with metals. Okay? We have three categories of chemical properties of haloalkanes and haloarenes. Nucleophilic substitution reaction, elimination reaction, and your reaction with metals. In this class, we will discuss about nucleophilic substitution reaction. What do you mean by nucleophile? Nucleophile. Philic means love. Love. Okay, loving. So which is nucleus, loving. Nucleus carry which charge? Positive. So it must carry negative. Because opposite charges attract each other. So nucleophiles are the substances which carry negative charge and they are the positive charge love. Okay? So nucleophilic substitution reaction. In this reaction, a nucleophile which reacts with haloalkane having partial positive charge to the carbon atom bonding to halogen atom. See, we have nucleophile which is carrying negative charge. It reacts with carbon atom attached to halide. So it is carrying negative charge, it is carrying positive charge. Fine. Nucleophile is reacting with alkyl halide or aryl halide. Okay. And in this X is replaced by nucleophile. But it is not the balanced equation. Okay. Here nucleophile attacks on the alkyl halide. Okay. And it forms the nucleophile attached at the position of halogen and leaving group is your halogen. Halogen means either fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. Okay? It is very one of the most useful class of organic reactions of alkyl halide, in which halogen is bonded to sp3 carbon. Okay? Where the hybridization of the carbon to which halogen is attached is sp3. Then there are two types of nucleophilic substitution reaction. First, understand them. Okay? That is SN1 and SN2. SN1 and SN2. SN1, 1 means 1 mole. Substitution or nucleophilic unimolecular substitution reaction. Nucleophilic bimolecular substitution reaction. Fine. So first point is it is unimolecular. Okay. SN1 is and it is bimolecular. What does it mean? It follows the first order kinetics, which means it must be dependent on only on one of the reagent. Okay, and it follows the second order kinetics, which means they must be dependent on two reagents. So this is here rate of reaction is only dependent on alkyl halide. Here rate of reaction is only dependent on alkyl halide, but here rate of reaction is directly proportional to, is dependent on alkyl halide as well as the concentration of nucleophile. Okay? Clear? Yes. Nucleophilic substitution reaction. SN1 is unimolecular. SN2 is bimolecular. Unimolecular means it follows first order kinetics. Bimolecular means it follows second order kinetics. Here rate is directly proportional to concentration of alkyl halide. Here rate is directly proportional to concentration of alkyl halide as well as on the nucleophile. Okay? So here, suppose this is your alkyl halide. Okay? It is carry positive charge. Halogen carry negative charge. But carbon carry positive charge is having sp2 hybridization. Carbon carry positive charge is having sp2 hybridization. But here nucleophile can attack from up and down or from both sides. Very important point. Here carbon carry sp2 hybridization, so nucleophile can attack from both sides. Okay, from either from front side or from back side. Okay, so they can attack from both sides. So from which position they are attacking, they will decide our product. Okay, from which position they are attacking, they will decide. Here nucleophilic substitution reaction unimolecular, it depends on the concentration of only alkyl halide. Alkyl halide concentration means here this carry positive charge, this carry negative charge. So those carbon which carry positive charge, their hybridization is sp2. And which thing will be going to attack here? Nucleophile. So nucleophile can either attack from this side or from this side. This concept we will discuss later on because that is very important. Up to this point you remember they form the racemic mixture. What they form? Racemic mixture. Fine. The concentration of both the components, like they form inversion of configuration and retention. What does it mean? Suppose this carbon, it is attached with 4. Okay, this is tertiary alcohol. Okay, so this carbon we will attacking nucleophile here. So it can attack from front side or it can attack from back side. But if it will attack from front side, the configuration remains same. So that means retention of configuration. But if it will attack from back side, inversion of configuration takes place. That is inversion. See, you have seen umbrella. Okay, whenever the rains it fast, then umbrella turns upward. Like we have this umbrella. Suppose its shapes becomes like this. So that is inversion of configuration, and this is retention of configuration. Fine?
Shape will change.
Sorry?
Shape will change.
But no, it will form the same product, but configuration will change. Their configuration will change. See, if we have this, here OH is present as this side, it will rotate the plane polarized light to different direction, and if OH will have this side, it will rotate the plane polarized light to different direction. Fine?
Which position of O will change?
Sorry?
We take this atom above. In place of CH3.
In place of CH3?
Yes.
Yes.
We take OH.
No, but here it will attack from this. You can take from up down also.
Then
You
there
can
will be
take.
changing.
Yes, configuration will change. Now, if direction of leaving reagent will change and coming reagent will change, now, then configuration will change. Fine? Configuration changes. So in SN1, what it will form? Racemic mixture. Racemic mixture means inversion of configuration and this concept clear?
Yes.
Very important it is. 100% one question will come from this section. Fine?
Yes.
But in SN2, it only form inversion of configuration. In this, nucleophile always attack from back side. Suppose we have methanol, okay, primary alkyl halide, and we are attacking the nucleophile, but it is also having negative charge. Hydroxide ions also carry negative charge. Right? So when it carries negative charge and nucleophile coming from the front side, they repel each other. They repel each other now. So they will enter from the back side. Why? Because of repulsion. So they will enter from the back side. So in this, 100% inversion of configuration takes place. Clear?
Yes.
SN1, SN2 clear?
Yes.
We have so many differences between them. Like in this, it requires weak and mild nucleophile. This requires strong and concentrated nucleophile. Why so? But in this case, we require formation of carbocation. In this case, first step is the formation of carbocation. Intermediate will form, fine? Carbocation will form in this case, and next is attack of nucleophile. But here, no carbocation formation takes place. leaving group and adding group. Addition, those who are adding to that carbon, they attack and form the product. Okay, in this intermediate will form. That's why it requires weak and mild nucleophile, so that first carbocation will form. They will give time to carbocation formation, then they attack. In this case, nucleophile immediately attack. They immediately attack, fine, and form the product. Okay, and form the product. In this case, intermediate will form. Okay, clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
The order of reaction in this case is primary alkyl halide will undergo SN2 substitution reaction faster than secondary, then tertiary. Here order is different. It follows tertiary, secondary and primary. Okay? Remember this. In both the cases, the order of reaction depends on the halogen also. I2, Br2, Cl2, F. Okay? Sorry. That it is a good leaving group, bete. That it is a good leaving group. No, you are asking about that. But that is the stability order. If we have primary alkyl halide, secondary alkyl halide and tertiary alkyl halide, then in case of primary alkyl halide, it will prefer to go SN2 mechanism. And tertiary alkyl halide undergoes SN1 mechanism. Fine? Clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
But this will take place in polar and protic solvent. And this will take place in polar and aprotic solvent. What is polar? In which electronegativity difference is there? What is protic? Protic means, bete, here hydrogen is attached to more electronegative element, like H2O. Hydrogen is attached to oxygen, that is more electronegative. Fine? Clear to everyone?
Yes.
And in that case, hydrogen is attached to less electronegative element. Like we have, it is for your competitive exams, this protic solvent and this. We have dimethyl sulfoxide, DMS. Dimethyl sulfoxide. Here hydrogen is attached to less electronegative element. Okay? Clear to everyone? Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine? SN1, SN2 clear?
Yes.
In which case retention of configuration takes place? SN1. Retention plus inversion. And in inversion of configuration?
SN2.
SN2. Fine? So solve one question also based on the same. Question is, you have to predict the order of, okay, we have C2H5I and C2H5Cl. Fine? C2H5I and C2H5Cl. Which will undergo SN2 reaction faster? Why so? Because I is the good leaving group. It will easily leave the alkyl chain, fine, and it undergoes SN2 reaction faster. Clear to everyone? Clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. Now next is out of these three, but which will undergo SN1 and which will undergo SN2 faster?
Ma'am, SN1 last, third or last time.
Very good, because it is tertiary halide. So it will undergo SN1 reaction faster. Tertiary means this carbon is attached to three different carbons. Second will intermediate, and this first one will undergo SN1 reaction faster. Clear to everyone?
Yes.
Clear to everyone? First will undergo SN1 reaction faster. Okay? And third one undergo SN2 reactions faster. Clear to everyone? No doubt? Fine? Next is stereochemical aspect of nucleophilic substitution reaction. Here your that point is more clear, configuration. Okay? Stereochemical aspect. See, a SN2 reaction proceeds with Walden inversion and SN1 proceed with racemic mixture. Racemic mixture means 50% retention and 50% inversion. But there are few terms which you should know. First is PPL and optical activity. PPL means plane polarized light. Certain compounds that can rotate the plane polarized light. But a plane polarized light is produced by passing ordinary light through Nicol prism. Fine? It is a prism which shows optical isomerism. After the completion, you will understand better. Just listen to the topic for 5 minutes. So, when it is passed through the solution, those solutions which rotate the light are known as optical isomers. Those solutions which rotate the light either to the right direction, either to the left direction. These compounds are known as optical isomers. So if they are rotating the light to right direction, these compounds are known as dextro-rotatory. Dextro means right. Those who rotate the light to the right direction is dextro-rotatory or clockwise direction. Those who rotate the light to anti-clockwise direction or left, they are levo-rotatory. Levo L left. Remember this. Fine. Those who rotate the light to the right direction or clockwise direction are dextro-rotatory, and those who rotate the light to the left are levo-rotatory. Fine. And those compounds which are showing this property, plus and minus, they are optical isomers. Fine. Next is molecular asymmetry, chirality. See, beta, this is the carbon. Fine. What is the valency of carbon? 4. If 4 different groups are attached to the carbon, 4 different groups are attached to the carbon, that carbon is chiral. That carbon is chiral. And this center is stereo center. This center is stereo center. And that carbon is chiral. And if the groups attached to this are same, that carbon is achiral. What is it? Achiral. If 4 different groups, then chiral. If groups are same, then it is achiral. Now, but there are two concepts. Chiral objects form superimposable images and non-superimposable images. But these are mirror images. Your hands are mirror images. Your hands are mirror images, but they are not superimposable. See, it is not superimposable now. But if I will take this bangle, it is also mirror images. And if I will keep one bangle over this bangle, they will also superimpose. Fine. So chirality produce two types of images. That is chiral objects producing non-superimposable images. Remember the example of your hands. They form the mirror images, but they are not superimposable. And remember the concept of circle. They are mirror images, but they are forming superimposable mirror images. Okay? So these type of two compounds form from the chiral segment. Next, they rotate the light to the left or to the right. Okay? Is it clear to everyone? Clear to everyone? Fine. So that's all about your SN1 and SN2 mechanics.